Quantum observation, observer effect. What is quantum mechanics? This is actually the study of small and tiny particles like protons, neutrons, electrons, gluons, and quarks. It has been shown that when observation was done at such a tiny level, things started to behave differently and mysteriously compared with conventional science and even our normal perception of how things should be. Quantum mechanics or quantum physics, which means the same thing, shows that tiny particles can exist both as a particle as well as wave, which means energy, also at the same time. Before observation of the result happens, everything still exists in an energy form, and until someone watches the result, it changes into particle form. So what do I mean by that? Let's talk about the observer effect. There was a famous thought experiment called Schrodinger's cat experiment by physicist Erwin Schrödinger in 1935. He proposed that if a cat was placed in a box with a radioactive poison releasing gun at the same time, for most if not for all would think that the cat is dead, right? But in quantum physics, the cat is in a state called superposition, which demonstrates that the cat is both alive and dead at the same time before observing. It is in a 50% chance of survival or 50% chance of being dead concurrently until someone observes the result. Nobody saw the cat outside the box, so nobody can say that it's alive or dead. Quantum observation postulated that when thoughts are given energy through observation, outcome happens. Isn't it interesting? To make it weirder, let's talk about another famous experiment called the double slit experiment. This is one of the most famous experiments in quantum physics, and definitely one of the weirdest. It was first performed by Thomas Young in the year 1801. It demonstrates that matter and energy, which is an electron, can exhibit both wave and particle characteristics at the same time, known as the particle-wave duality of matter. This also shows the superposition of both possibility at the same time. The double slit experiment. When there is a single slit where a marble projector machine shoots at on the wall, we see that there is a constant individual heat that forms a line on the back wall. The marble signifies the matter aspect, and now we have a double slit. The second slit also shows the same line on the back wall. So we have two lines on the wall. Now let's look at the wave, which is the energy aspect. We have the wave that went through the single slit with an intensity of a straight line on the back wall, which is the same as the marble previously. But there is a strange situation which happened when we added a double slit to this wave experiment. Instead of having only two lines, now we have many lines. When the waves from the first slit touches the wave from the second slit, there forms an interference which cancels out each other. So now we can see that there are many lines instead of just two before interference. So to summarize, when we throw things through the slit with something like marbles, which in fact is matter, we get two lines only. But when it comes to waves, we suddenly get many lines. This is generally accepted in conventional science, right? We do not have any issue with this. But a strange thing happens when it comes to electrons. Electrons are actually tiny bits of matter which are particles in nature. So now, when we hit through the double slit, we should get two lines, right? But no, we have many lines on the back wall where it showed that interference happened too with quantum matter. It suddenly behaves in a wave-like manner, just like how energy would. How can matter be energy at the same time, you may wonder? So the conclusion is, when things are happening at the quantum level, it does not behave in a conventional manner, which does not follow conventional science anymore. Matter does not behave like matter anymore. It exhibits both wave and matter, which is a particle at the same time. This supports the idea that superposition of matter and wave at the same time when it comes to quantum level. This goes to show that we human beings exist as matter, where we are in a 3D physical body, and also exist as an energy, which we are also an energy or energetic being at the same time. This is also showing that consciousness creates reality, doesn't it? Our 7 chakras do display this point. With 7 energy centers connected to our body, what happens to them will inevitably affect us on the physical plane. There is an undeniable connection. Now, with the observer effect, you can say that our thoughts create our reality. It's absolutely the true nature of our universe. You heard that often. But how many people believe this? Because a lot of people just do not know this fact. Multiple timelines or possibility, as you may say it, are in a superposition state. When we create our reality through our thoughts, we give energy to anchor that possibility for us. We are powerful creators. Either you create positive thought and manifest positive outcomes, or you can also create negative thoughts by worrying, anxiety, anger, guilt, shame, fear, and all other negative emotions. If you worry long enough, you essentially draw in this possibility for yourself. This is called self-fulfilling prophecy. This is also the law of attraction in action. I noticed that a lot of people will tell me, "See, I told you, I just knew it. I already told you this will happen." Well, yes, indeed. If your mind is surrounding the negative thoughts and outcome, why wouldn't it happen, right? When we are so much believing in that thought, and we give energy to that possibility, and voila, the outcome will happen according to what we expect, right? If we want to manifest anything, just meditate on it. Meditation and worrying are just the same thing on different sides of the coin. Be careful of what is on your mind, because we create our own reality through the observer effect. Do not create something that you do not want out of ignorance. Be conscious and aware of what you'll be expecting, because there are no surprises in life. When you give energy to your thought, you are making it real for you.